Katie, Taylor's girlfriend person.
Mm.
Yeah, so I'm assuming Taylor's not coming back either, and she was following suit. Strange.
Seems a bit.
Who knows, man?
Yeah, who knows? It's like
Eric knows. He brought it up. He just wouldn't tell anyone about it. He's like, hey, so me and Taylor are in conflict about values or something, personal values, just so you guys know. And we're like, okay, like, well, it can't be solved, so I'm not going to talk about it. It's like, why would you tell us that?
Eric is just bizarre with his fucking some of his choices that this isn't like a gripe, it's just an odd difference that I've noticed is like Eric and some other people have basically they've been around MBTF for a while. I'm brand new to it all. The things that I consider just normal everyday human shit, people that have been around it for a while are like, oh, this is this function, it's that function. They like ascribe all these different, deeper meanings to it. Sometimes I feel like that's not necessary. Like maybe they're just acting like a normal person would act, like anybody, regardless of type or function.
Yeah, I
Like,
think.
oh, they're mad. That must be his FI acting up. Like maybe he's just mad because you called him a fucking idiot. Like who wouldn't be mad at that?
Dude, right?
Stuff like that. It's like that's just common sense to me, but that's not how it goes.
It's really retarded how people attribute a lot of dumb things to.
I think it's kind of hilarious, is what.
Well, I mean, usually they do that so that you don't react as much as you would by being like, "Oh, your FI is acting up," you know. Then it's sort of like basically telling someone their butt hurt. So it's just another insult, but you're using functions to.
It means the same thing. It's just basically an added vocabulary, is what it amounts to in the end.
Yeah.
Like, look at us come up with technical sounding things for things we already know how to say. We're just going to use this particular set of vocabulary instead.
Pretty much.
I find it amusing, but yeah, it can get a little out of it. Can get kind of hilariously.
I mean, usually it only
people take
happens.
it like overly serious. Like I say stuff like all the time, but I'm I don't take it very seriously. It's like,
yeah,
it's funny.
Usually only happens between NTPs for the most part, but I don't know.
There's that, and then there's people excusing their shitty behavior with their type.
Yeah.
That makes me fucking want to claw my own eyeballs out. Eric does it. Taylor does it. A lot of people do it. They'll act like a fucking jackass. And then they'll be like, well, and other people will excuse them. Even. They don't even have to say anything. They'll be excused. Like, well, they're an INTP, so their XYZ is polar, so it's okay that they were a complete cunt in this situation. Like, it's not okay. It's not an excuse. It's the hand you were dealt. You are this person. These are your strengths and your weaknesses, but that doesn't give you carte blanche to be a fucking asshole or act like a dickhead. And it's just fine, and there's no consequences, and no one's ever allowed to hold you to account for that.
Being a dick actually kind of becomes encouraged at a certain point between certain types.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, we have a kinship. We're all dickheads. Great, amazing.
Yeah. But see, I've grown. I've basically.
You're not a dickhead in this situation. You can't possibly be this type.
Right. But like I've lived my entire life in situations where I had to mold and adapt to other people. Like I didn't go to college. I didn't go into a field that was any kind of suiting to an ENTP at all. So I've spent my entire life learning how to adapt to people like ISTJs or ESTJs, like sensor heavy people that are pretty much the opposite of me.
Mhm.
And so I've seen the light in terms of like when people have told me like you can't just act like that because it's your nature and never work on it. Like we get that it's your nature and we're giving you slack for it. You can't just continually do the same thing that's shitty and throw up that excuse every time. Does that make sense? Like you have to work on it.
Yeah, but they would have to acknowledge that it's shitty in the first place, but they will always use functions as a I'm not gonna sugarcoat it in FE. Like,
right? And it's like, why don't you just
always
talk?
justify with like regarding one function as not as honest as another. So they just really.
Why don't you just talk like a normal human fucking being?
I do think that in this particular kind of group of people or rooms, because of the focus and the kind of underlying interest in kind of deciphering the differences, I think there's probably more experimentation and, you know, like not normal behavior, or at least I would hope so. Like, I know that I think there's a lot of that. It's like, because normal behavior, there's lots of that to be done elsewhere.
Or another tactic is like, I'm not packaging it in FE because I respect you. Like they try to pull that like dumb like weird psychology bullshit on you that is very transparent. And it's like, I don't know.
I don't know. It's interesting.
Like, oh really? You respect me? It's interesting.
Well, I mean, just in my own life, like not to an extreme degree, but the closer I am, like the closer friends and stuff, and people I know, like there's way more on the surface, like not sugarcoating stuff than with people that are outside, like my close circle of friends. Like that's why I always say it's like that's how you know that if I'm making fun of you, and like that means that we're friends.
I literally just had to explain that to she.
No,
If I'm
I
super
mean,
nice to you, then you're really not. I don't know you very well, or don't want to be around you.
no, I mean, I get that part because there are certain things you can't do with people you don't respect, you know, or don't have any sort of bond with or close to. But it's just obvious when someone uses like the "I respect you, that's why I'm being shitty right now." That's like a different.
I mean, I will tell you that there's a significant difference that's easy to see. It's like when Taylor usually talks to Eric, he's calling him on his bullshit, but he doesn't use primarily insulting terms. Like he might say that was really fucking stupid, but he won't say you're a fucking jackass or something like that.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to see, but having
No, I
done
mean,
it a lot,
I already have seen the difference in interaction between those two. Like,
yeah, shit ain't Gucci, dude. Shit ain't Gucci. I don't know what the fuck, but
I do feel bad though because I say things about sensors sometimes, and I forget that some people are sensors in the room, and I'm totally kidding, actually, like genuinely kidding, making like a sweeping generalization. But like I've said things and then like had people be like, "Oh, I thought you didn't like me because you said this thing about like ISFPs or something," and I'm like, I totally like I have two ISFP brothers, so it was totally because of that and not for any other reason.
I mean, people need to learn to take a goddamn joke anyway.
Yeah.
About being so fucking thin-skinned, that shit pushes my. That's what really pushes my buttons. Hilariously enough, like ironically enough, is people being thin-skinned. It drives me insane. I hate it.
Yeah.
You make a joke, and I told you this. Like, I made a.
They
I
make- you
didn't
make
even
jokes or
make
you
a
say
joke.
something,
I
you're
talked
trying-
about a fat joke I made 5 years ago. And I had the Moral Crusaders out for my blood.
I mean, I think it was mostly to test whether or not you still feel that way about fat people.
My point would be, it doesn't even matter.
it's that just because you made a joke about it or you made fun of it doesn't mean you feel one way or the other about it. It doesn't.
It's
or at
a
least for
joke,
me, because
dude.
it's always like it's just like you see the joke and you're like, that's the perfect spot for that joke.
It's a joke, yeah.
It's a joke. That's the point. It's like it's not about the actual point of the joke. It's just there was that perfect hole, and you're like, oh, yeah, that's exactly what needs to go there.
Pretty much. Like, people can make fun of me for being white, for being a guy, and the dumb shit, guy stereotypes. Anything they want to make fun of me for, and it's fine. I can't change any of that. It's literally beyond my capacity to change. Yet, being overweight, which I have been before, is somehow sacred, and I don't understand it. Logically, it should be more safe to make fun of because you can change it, typically speaking. And yet people make fun of short people, tall people, ugly, stupid. Guys are retarded and they can't ask for directions, etc., etc. Girls, they're airy and vapid, all that shit. Like, all these stereotypes of things that people can't change are fine. But make fun of weight and all of a sudden it's like a goddamn crisis. I don't get it.
Yeah,
I don't think anyone took it that seriously. It was just like a...
Oh no, man. You should see the private messages I got about that shit.
Seriously?
Yeah.
People private messaged you about that? That's
People were
ridiculous.
not happy.
That's next level.
And
Why do you think I'm salty about it? Like,
I didn't know. I had no idea, so I was like, wow, he must feel some weird guilt about it or something because he keeps bringing it up, but now it makes sense.
I'm sure that really encouraged you to not do it in the future as well.
oh no, I'm gonna do it every time I get the chance now.
I know. It's like we're in. It's like, yes, not gonna turn out well. Not gonna accomplish your goals, people.
Okay, obviously I didn't communicate who I am to you effectively.
Yeah. That's funny. Yeah, I used to worry more about like saying things about something and then and making sure there wasn't somebody, nearby that might take that the wrong way, but I got less concerned with that the older I got, it seems like.
Yeah.
I've done a couple of good ones in real life. Like I was talking about this book that had been revised this was like a rules and regulations book for martial arts organization, and I was talking and I was going off about how much I didn't like it, and like I was getting into it, and I kind of realized that the guy who had done the last revision was like sitting next to me at the table, and you're like, no, I was like, no, I'm rolling with this. Needed to be said. It's true. Like I stand behind everything I'm saying, so maybe this will actually make it, get better. It was funny though. And it actually did turn out fine. It's like, aha, now I'm helping him make the next revision, which I need to remember to get back to. I'm glad I brought that up for my own benefit. It's on my I keep forgetting list.
Oh, wow. I just got this joke. Do you guys get this? Wait,
What?
It took me too long to get this. Well, you have to remember the game and whatnot.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of slangy, like man column, or just like whatever.
Yeah, that took me way too long to like realize that that was what was going
I
on.
was trying to parse out exactly what they were saying, but I got the general gist of it. Yeah, right. I used to love that game. Spent many, yeah, and then you realize that it's basically got an almost, you learn that there's basically, it's not a very exciting strategy that you can.
Yeah, I got really bored of that game pretty fast. Like
You gotta find, if you can find people that you could play the people sometimes. Like,
You kidding me? I took one look at that board and I said, censor shit. Ugh.
I liked
Disgusting.
Connect Four. That was fun.
Yeah, Connect
I
4
never
is
liked,
also
I never
censored
liked Connect 4.
oppression.
Like, I never could get into that. Like, it always looked fun, but it was never actually fun to play.
I'm about to be that dude. I think I'm gonna do that social experiment. You ready, boys?
What? Just a bunch
Definitely, I
of
don't even know what
things
it
about
is, but I'm ready.
censors.
Anytime anybody mentions anything about like oppression or discrimination, anything like that, and it's not grounded firmly in evidence and reality, I'm just gonna start talking about censors oppressing me and my intuition. They just can't handle it. It's oppression.
Go for it.
I don't know. I'm salty right now because like I've been text messaging my sister and she's like, I think I told you about
I
this,
know.
radical feminist.
Oh,
How radical can you be? Does she just like lynch all men or something?
She told me that I was a rapist in waiting.
What?
Me and my
Oh
brother
my goodness.
and my dad. So yeah.
Like, what was the were you in an argument about like?
Yeah, but like I don't remember
How-
how it got to this point, but basically she had made the statement that men are inherently inclined to sexual violence because we are men. And I said, what in the fuck?
It would make way more sense to be like, not that I agree with this either, but like to be like, men are socially conditioned to think that that's like okay or something. But say inherently, then it's kind of like,
Mm-hmm.
then you're saying they can't help it, so you're almost giving them like the right of way to do so.
Oh, exactly.
That is
However, I didn't make that argument because I was so goddamn livid at the time.
that's
And
one
I
of
was
those.
just like,
it's
what about
they
me
make-
and Jarrett, who is my brother, our brother? I was like, what about me and Jarrett and Dad? And she was like, well, you haven't done it yet, but that doesn't mean you don't have the inclination. And most guys give in eventually.
what? It's so weird.
Oh.
Dude, you're telling me she was like right wing conservative before she went to college, and then she comes back and she's like that. Color hair off, dyed it a weird color, and spouts off that shit. Like, dude.
It's like just that statement like undermines most of their claimed, things like it just they're so retarded because they don't make arguments, they just spout garbage.
It was interesting.
Sounds like
I just found MySpace Ace.
And wait, mine?
Yeah.
You ain't on my top 8, bro.
No, I found like a picture that is very reminiscent of MySpace days.
ye old MySpace. When Facebook was the respectable social media site.
MySpace days is where my FI really kicked in.
don't think I
Remember
ever
that
had
shit?
friends.
When like Facebook was like the weird new program that nobody used.
Yeah, I remember because I got on it to and like you used it for like more professional like networking. You're like, okay, I'm not here just to be like goofy and
Facebook used to be LinkedIn.
it did. It was LinkedIn. It was like the professional networking.
You had
site.
to actually be like attending a college in order to make one, right? You had to like make up some college or something if you didn't go.
Yeah, there was. I remember a thing like that. Yeah, because
I could be wrong, but I don't know.
Yeah, well, there was a lot. I don't know if you had to, but there was like
No, you had to.
people, and you had to. Yeah, you had to be involved in that network of people to. Get
Oh
into
yeah, that
You
was
had to be
it.
verified through your college. Like your college had like a person that was responsible for going, yeah, they go here.
Yeah, it was a big deal.
I wish it was actually more like that now, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm kind of sad that it became the like the main one. I'm like, well, now it's useless.
Everyone's like just sharing the same article over and over.
And nobody's
Just
researched or looked at.
Yeah.
Progressively gotten worse.
So why haven't you accepted my friend request then?
Who hasn't requested who's from request?
I collect people on Facebook. I use it, but I don't have to like it.
Yeah, I
don't have
declined it because I didn't know who the
I
fuck
don't
you
have
were.
to not complain about it.
Okay, Audra!
Not
Why are you yelling over me?
because I wasn't done talking.
Oh my god. You hear her, Neptune? She thinks because she was talking and had a point going that she just gets to keep talking. Like,
Doesn't
what
she
the
know
fuck?
she's a woman? Like, what the fuck?
Alright, go ahead.
FI triggered. Mm-mm.
Oh no.
I'm just kidding.
Too much.
That'd be kind of fun to just like pretend like act as dickish as possible for a whole day and see what happens.
Act as what?
As dickish as possible for a whole day in these rooms and see what happens. But like actually try to pull it off so that people think you're serious.
I feel like it would be easy to make people think it was serious. It would be funny.
It'd be real easy to convince people you meant it.
I know.
You just have to say things you mean.
Right, you just say the things you mean that you normally do
Don't
refrain.
say.
You would be
Yeah.
softened before you actually say.
Like, Carolyn. Oh, there she goes. See? See?
You just thought the thing you were gonna say.
Exactly. I said her fucking name, she left. That's how good I am at that game.
I'm gonna read Facebook statuses. I just need someone to listen.
Who's this?
Some random person from high school, I think.
You should read off Facebook statuses from famous people only.
Oh, that would be kind of fun.
Sheev, shut the fuck up. I'm so goddamn tired of these fucking white knighting retards in this group. I'll tell you that.
What are you talking about?
Not all of y'all, to be completely frank.
You said all of you?
Yes, because the people that aren't blatant white knights are people telling you that I don't know anything about women. Yet, they don't know anything about women.
Are you talking
Admittedly.
Are you talking about me?
No one, motherfucker!
There's no like example that I can think of where I did that.
Lucky I'm too drunk to remember one myself.
I just find it funny.
The thing that stuck out of my mind at the time Because I was trying to tell Eric how to construct his Tinder profile, I'm pretty sure it was. He was like, I'm not going to do that. And I was like, why not? And he goes, I don't know, you just don't seem like you know what you're doing. I'm just going to keep doing what I've done for 25 years that hasn't worked, any of them. Okay. That makes sense.
No, it does. I mean, a part of there, Eric kind of hinted at like kind of playing dumb with the whole woman game so that he could get women because they're like, oh, he's so innocent, he doesn't know anything. I'm guessing that he's done that quite a bit.
Could be. You just never drop like the fucking meme facade, and it just drives me bananas. Like, you're young, so I forgive you for it, but eventually you'll find out that people don't want you to just continuously rape their throat with memes. Sometimes they just want to talk and they don't want to meme.
Yeah, he's talking to you, Sheev. I mean, I don't know. I don't mind it. I think it's kind of funny.
I mean, look, does your senpai love your memes? Is that why she hasn't answered you? Does she love them so much she can't speak?
I get the feeling that he doesn't. He saves his like serious conversations for what he actually cares about. And he comes
He
here
doesn't
for
care about me?
entertainment.
Are you saying he doesn't care about me?
Yeah, he doesn't really care about anyone in the room, probably.
Oh my god. Can't believe it. Can't believe somebody would care less about my opinion than I do. My own opinion. Unreal.
I'm hungry, but then I get like acid reflux, and like it kind of has been a little bit bad lately. So I'm like, I don't want to eat, but I also don't want to be hungry, and I don't have time.
I want to eat, but I don't want to be hungry. Holy shit. I don't know why that tickled me so bad. I just haven't heard it said that way, I guess.
You seem to have a handle on your situation, or at least an understanding of your situation.
I do, but I don't have
understanding
time.
of it.
So it's like, what do I do?
Didn't say you had a solution, but you seem to,
You know the predicament you're in, at least.
Yeah, that's always a start.
I should have way more beer. Sober up. That's not good. I really appreciate it if the government would stop putting me in these experiments where I have to play video games with a bunch of bonobo apes that they've trained to use a keyboard. And then they put them on my team. I'd appreciate that. Like, knock it off. Okay, well, Sheev, I'm gonna tell you a secret about women that women will not tell you, and that most other guys will not admit to. They like it when you're a dickhead. They like it when you're an asshole. knock off the FE shit. It's worthless. It really is, especially at that age.
I was watching a video. Why is he knocking off FE shit?
Women don't want nice guys at that, especially at that age. They aren't interested in it.
I'm gonna say the most cliche response. Anyone worth getting to know will appreciate it. Okay.
No.
I mean, I think it's important probably for the initial process.
No. See, you have it in reverse. It's like my fiance is a wonderful woman. She's amazing. She's great. If I had approached her just like 90% of other guys did, with I'm super nice, I'm the nicest guy you'll ever meet, I will out nice every other guy here, she wouldn't have given me 2 glances. Because that's just what every other guy does. They try to out nice each other all the time.
I mean, I don't think you should be smothering people in niceness. That's weird.
No, you don't have to smother them, but
I think you shouldn't play the whole like I'm so like I don't know.
I'm not saying you have to play the edgy bad boy dickhead all the time.
Yeah, that's basically what I'm saying. Like
No.
I think just being raw in general will stand out enough.
Yes, but that's what I'm saying is that guys conflate.
But if you're like a good person, then the FE shit comes naturally.
I mean, yeah, man. I guess if that's really what you're after, but you're going to be waiting for a while.
See, I know about women's.
Yeah. It sounds good. It sounds storybook. It sounds Hallmark card type shit. It sounds Disney.
Are you being facetious, Sheev?
Sounds pretty facetious. It's
No,
like,
yeah, it's true though. Like I have friends, like most of my friends were girls growing up, so
you can't.
all they would do was vent to me about like this shit. So I do think that I got like some weird amount of secondhand experience, but I don't know.
That's the other thing. Is it's like can't that either.
And also, like I know what works on me, I guess, or worked in the past. So there's that aspect to it too.
With women,
I
it's
sort
just
of
like,
have like this weird like girl brain.
with women, this is what I tell my buddies, like, and I've always told them is don't listen to what they say, watch what they do. Because that speaks much louder. And everybody knows that. Actions speak louder than words, but yet they refuse to apply that to the dating scene. For example, you know, a woman can say, I hate assholes, I don't like assholes, I don't want to hang around assholes, or et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And yet she's been dating this guy that she says treats her like shit. And she keeps dating him. Why?
Well, so there's like an art to the whole like value, devalue thing. And so he doesn't start off by being like a complete douchebag. He starts off by valuing her and then devaluing her, and then the roller coaster, you know, she's like, oh, but when it's great, it's so great, and then when it's not great, it's really bad. Oh, you don't know him like I do when we're alone and he's so nice and blah blah blah. So there's that. But
right. But here's my counterpoint to that is that who is she more likely to date? A guy that's a dickhead from the start and genuinely a bad person who will mistreat her later. Which is better, let me rephrase. That guy or the guy that pretends to be a bad person so that she's interested and then can slowly...
Well, the covert asshole is obviously like worse because he's more dangerous because he can do more damage without her actually knowing if she's not the brightest or easily manipulated. Yeah. But I mean, I also think that it's really silly that someone would be like, hey, I'm a dick. Like, these other guys, they're going to tell you they're not dicks, but they are dicks. I'm telling you right now, I'm a dick. Like, that's equally as ridiculous.
Well, women are covert creatures. That's why you don't ever fucking say this shit. Women, I mean, think about it. Women imply shit They draw their own conclusions all the time. You didn't say shit, but they just assume shit. Happens all the time. Regardless of personality type, because trust me, I've been on plenty of dates where girls are like, you said X and Y is the truth. And I'm like, I don't even remember telling you X. They are covert creatures. That's why they get frustrated when they have to be overt and flat out tell their man X, Y, or Z. They want a guy that just gets it.
I mean, yeah, most of the girls that I know do play mind games with guys for a while.
Yeah, and it's not necessarily their fault. It's just how they are.
No, I'd say it's their fault.
It sounds retardedly inefficient, but
You're fucking weird, Audra. So
I know I am. I always laugh at these conversations. I'm just like, people are so weird.
They're like, they always do this thing where they're like, he doesn't like me, he doesn't give me enough attention. He's really clingy. He's giving me so much attention. What do I do?
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude. That's why I was trying to tell Nick. Like,
I mean, I get the idea of having conflicting emotions and wanting someone who's balanced. That's not too much to ask for, you know. Like she said, they just want balance ultimately. And let's be honest, guys aren't that balanced oftentimes.
yeah, and again, for whatever reason, the majority of guys are emasculated in the way that they relate to women. They're always saying sorry for shit they don't need to say sorry for. I mean, look at Nick. He said do I need to ask permission to call her? Why do you need to ask permission?
That is nothing. I don't think that really. Well, I mean, it's usually important to give someone like a heads up. Like, who likes being called by someone? I hate being called.
I mean, yeah, but you're like super introverted and shit.
Yeah, and he's considering the possibility that she might be super introverted.
No, he just didn't want to call her because he's used to having to ask permission for every little thing.
Well, I mean, what is he going to do? Just like call her randomly in the middle of the day, or be like,
why is that weird?
That's so weird. We're in 2007.
I'm going to call you in the middle of the day to set up a fucking coffee date? That's weird?
Hell yeah, that's super weird.
Okay, no, you're weird.
I don't even like my friends calling me. Like, don't call me.
That's you.
Tell me before you're gonna call me. I don't want to, like, so I can mentally prepare like an hour beforehand. And like,
that is you, my man.
Man,
Wow.
That is you. I don't. An hour?
like usually, yeah, my friends kind of know me by now, so they're like, "Hey, I'm gonna call you tonight," and then I'll like answer or something. But like, if they call me randomly, I just won't answer.
Sure. I mean, if that's how you do, that's how you do. But like, that is not the average person. That's certainly not the average female.
I think that's totally the average person.
Now you're just being a fucking dickhead. God damn it. Yeah. My point being is like asking permission to do simple things like give somebody a phone call. It's bizarre to me.
I don't think that's like an emasculated thing. Like, she's not. Nick isn't being emasculated. He's just like overly, like overthink shit. It's not like.
If it was an isolated incident, I would agree with you. However, his entire behavior as regards to women is he never does things because he thinks it's a good idea. He never makes a move because he thinks it's a good idea or he thinks it's what he should do. He always asks for permission. He asks for second opinions. He wants advice, etc., etc., etc. He's so concerned. He's terrified of offending her sensibilities in one way or another that he literally won't make a move unless somebody here tells him to.
So I'm gonna just say this. I don't think that the way Nick portrays himself online about like I don't think he's being dishonest necessarily, but I do think that he enjoys input from other people. But I think he's gonna do whatever he wants anyways. Like, I think he actually is more proactive with women than he lets on in here.
I can only fucking hope so.
Yeah, I think he knows what he's doing for the most part. I think that if anything, he commits the crime of coming on too strong, probably, which is...
Well, I would say, I would disagree that he knows what he's doing with women because he comes off as horrifically insecure about it. But I would say that I would agree with that he comes on way too strong. Because, like, he got a fucking date tonight or whatever. He was talking to some INFJ, and, like she said, he's all up in talking with famous people about this shit. Like, just because he's an INFJ, and he's horrified of the possibility that he'll fuck it up.
I don't think he really cares that much, though, honestly.
And why bring it here?
Is this a topic of conversation? I think he's like, "Hey, here's what's going on in my life. I want to talk about my love life right now."
I mean, I
It's
get
like fine, like whatever.
you
Not
get
like
that.
looking for it.
I get that, but he took snapshots of like every stage of the conversation. It's hard for me to believe that he just doesn't really give a shit when he put all the effort in to take screenshots of every stage of the conversation. And what do I say now? What do I say now? What do I say now? Like, that doesn't seem low effort to me.
I mean, but notice, like, for instance, he'll like respond or something. Like, for instance, he was like, "I'm about to say that verbatim to Liz," and then he's like, "Any objections?" And then he's like, "Too late." Like, he already responded. He already knew what he was gonna say, I think.
I mean, I get where you're coming from with that, but for example, I don't like hypothetically. Let's say Taylor was single. Do you think he would have even asked?
Probably not. No. I mean, but
No.
most people honestly wouldn't ask anyone. So,
Exactly my point.
so I'm just saying that Nick is sort of special snowflake in that regard, and it's not representative of men being emasculated.
Well, I use Nick as an example, but I could show you screenshots of the shit people have sent me, and what do I say to this girl? Like, why does it matter? It sounds cliche as fuck, but like, just do you, homie. Do you. Stop worrying about pussy this much. That's what's killing most guys. It's all they think about. And if they would take the pussy off the pedestal, they'd get it a lot more often.
I think you can keep it on the pedestal. You just have to make sure that they know that the pedestal is fragile and that any wrong move on the pussy's part, it could fall apart and they'll be on the floor.
Same thing, in essence. I get what you're saying, but basically, it's essentially what I'm saying.
Is it? I like my metaphor better. Just let me have it.
Okay, fine. You got it. Probably gonna stop talking about this because people strike me down I'm a misogynist.
That'd be fun to like try to date women to like pass off as a straight person for a while and see what happens. See how good I am at it. And then when I'm about to take the girl home, I'm like, I have a confession. I'm gay. And then
Hilarious.
Lol, I'm actually gay.
You were gonna go home with me, but I'm gay.
Now we're both looking for gay. That would trip her out even more. But like, I thought you were helping me find a guy. What happened? Holy shit, you guys went several layers too deep.
Ugh, ugh, ugh.
Yeah, I'm headed out. I'll catch you guys tomorrow.
What?
Later, nerd.
Later.
There's like 7 people in TWFP1.
There are.
Boo! It's me again, nigga.
Wait, maybe my thingy Mababa hasn't updated. I'll check.
Thank you.
And it's not just